It's no news that Brian Reed has been let go from 343 Industries. Earlier this month, a listing for his job title appeared on LinkedIn where Microsoft was looking or is still looking for a lead writer for Halo. It's not really clear as to whether he was fired or quit his job, but it is safe to assume that he got fired since his reaction to the whole situation was rather instantaneous, as I would like to put it. Like the sort of reaction you would have when you fail at something, and believe me, I do know what that feels like. But what exactly led to this? Hey, this is me, Moape, here at Tactical Recon, and today we'll discuss what could have happened or what could have been the reasons why Mr. Reed was let go from 343 Industries. Let's get started. Just before we get started, I want to give a special thanks to Mr. FOTUS, for he's the main reason why I took down one of my previous videos in regard to Mr. Reed. I really appreciate his support and him expressing his views about how I presented Mr. Reed earlier, and it made me realize that I was being kind of anal about it.
Fuck me.
And once again, thank you so much, Mr. FOTUS, and I really do appreciate that. Now, on to the topic of today's video. So Brian Reed was let go by Microsoft, and since then his Twitter and LinkedIn have been either removed or set to private by Mr. Reed himself. Now, most likely this is to avoid getting humiliated by the Halo community, as you already know. Now, since we do not know if he was fired or decided to leave, let us assume both cases here and take it from each angle separately. Now, we'll first discuss what could have caused him to be fired, or in the other case, we'll discuss what could have led him to leave. In the case that Mr. Reed was fired, arrows only point to 3 different directions. And these are Halo YouTubers, performance issues in the role that he played, and community backlash. Now let us begin with the first of those reasons. Now let me get this point clear, at least, if this is the only point you get from this video. I am no saint when it comes to this, because I was one of the people who firmly believed that Mr. Reed was not best suited for the role which he was put in. However, I do differ from the rest because I did mention that I didn't want him to be fired. I only suggested that he work alongside another writer, like a co-lead writer or some sort. However, a particular example of how Halo YouTubers could have led to him being supposedly losing his job is Late Night Gaming and JKB Rising. Now take a look at this. I mean, just look at this for yourself.
I am Brian Reed, the voice of
Halo. So, you must be silenced.
Alright, I will admit that it was pretty funny there. So I guess I'll take out JKP Rising out of this equation. But it's still not as bad as Late Night Gaming here, a YouTuber with over 30k subscribers who was not really fond of Mr. Reed. Now, I don't mean to be rude and be an asshole to Late Night Gaming, as I do watch some of his videos from time to time, but this guy just took things way too far by titling his videos, Halo 6 needs better writers, get rid of Brian Reed. And people said I was too harsh on Reed, which is pretty much nothing in comparison to this. Now, not only does this demonstrate his lack of intelligence, it also makes him look like an inconsiderate fool who does not care about other people whatsoever. This was his job, which he needed to bring food onto the table and other things, and yet that didn't stop him from chanting, "Out with the weed, get rid of Brian Reed," or something like that. Now, I will give him a little bit of credit as he apologized to him on Twitter by saying, "I seriously hope Brian Reed didn't leave 343 due to harassment from the community." Oh, the irony. I hope he finds a less stressful job wherever he ends up. And one of his fans actually responded to him by saying this, "Yeah, especially those videos with the title, Halo 6 needs better writers, Brian Reed must go." And Mr. Late Night Gaming had the nerve to respond to this tweet saying the following, "Trust me, that video is a video I regret making to this day. How naive I was." Now, just let that sink in for a moment. Yeah, so you regret that video, huh? You regret making it so much that you kept it on your channel and monetized it for more income. I mean, I couldn't make this stuff if I tried, and yet you regret it so much, right? What a load of BS. This is the biggest amount of BS I've heard in a long time. And this is why the Halo community is seen as a joke, because of people who act in this way right here. I mean, what more did I expect from a guy who truly believes that Trump care is better than Obamacare because a system where the majority of Americans can't afford to pay for healthcare because it significantly costs more when you're sick and when you're a senior citizen is truly better than a system where you had to pay less. I mean, that makes complete sense, right? I mean, you want to be paying more for your healthcare. Yeah, right. Yeah, that makes complete sense. Oh wait, you don't believe me? Look at Mick Mulvaney's interview where he said to people who were kicked off of healthcare, just go to the ER. Oh wait, but it's gonna cost me more to go to the ER without healthcare, and this will end up bankrupting my entire family. Oh, oops, didn't think of that one, did you, huh, Mr. Late Night Gaming? I mean, right now I'm going a little bit too harsh on late night gaming here. I'm having a little bit of fun, but I do realize that he's a much better person than this, and his other content is pretty amazing actually. But here he just went way too far, and when people go too far, they need to be called out on their BS. Well, that was quite a mouthful there, but let's get back on topic, shall we, fellas? Now, the other reason for Brian Reed being fired could be due to his performance issues with his role. Now, as the actman really nicely and adequately described the flaws in the story of Halo 5, it is quite clear that Halo 5 was probably not Brian Reed's best work, and as a result, they may have decided it was high time for him to go. Now, I would like to point out that he does write pretty good external law for the Halo franchise, so hopefully Microsoft put him in charge of writing those at least. And finally, the community is most likely to blame for Mr. Reed's departure from 343 Industries. The community was so outraged by Halo 5's story that cults all over the Halo community erupted with the agenda to get Brian Reed removed from 343 Industries. I mean, just take a look at any YouTube video which has any reference to Brian Reed and read the comments. The hatred towards him was so strong at some point that he had to delete his Twitter due to the harassment. He was harassed to such a point, and to me, this is honestly disgusting and embarrassing for the entire Halo community. That is all I have time for today, unfortunately, and we'll be continuing this on another video. Otherwise, I would be here all night, which will probably not be productive on my part. So let me make something clear here. I have nothing against late night gaming. I think he's a pretty decent dude, if you ask me, and I like his content. But some of the things that he does are not very logical and quite inconsiderate, for other people's lives, at least in terms of Mr. Brian Reed. Now, take care, guys. This has been me, Mwabe here at Tactical Recon. If you have enjoyed the video, please sure to leave a like and subscribe for more updates. Until then, Mwabe out.
Yeah, so geht das.